Hello, everyone. It is Friday, April 12th, and this is the Daily Fantasy 5, where we bring you the 5 things you need to know every day in the world of fantasy sports. This is episode 52, and as always, we are brought to you by mathradio.com, where you can get an online math course for your child ages 7 through 17 for as little as $9.99. These online math classes are yours to keep for life. They help your kids get better grades in school. It helps them prepare for tests, and the online courses can even help your kids get into college. So go to www.mathradio.com today to get an online math course. Be the hero of your household for as little as $9.99. All right, once again, that is www.mathradio.com. Let's get to it. We have one baseball story, and then I'm going to break down the top 4 players that are rated in the Roto Grinders website. So let's get to it now. The Atlanta Braves have they have struck another deal with a young player. This is the second time they've given a young player a long-term contract. So, Ozzy Albies, a 22-year-old second baseman who hits 261 with 24 home runs, 72 RBIs, and 14 stolen bases last year, has signed a 7-year, $35 million contract with 2 team options at the end. So this could end up being a 9-year contract for the Braves. That would take him through his 31-year-old season. This is a great deal for the Atlanta Braves. It's not that much money. Even if he doesn't work out and the Braves have to eat $35 million, that's not that big a deal in baseball. A lot of starting pitchers make $35 million, maybe not a lot, but some players in the MLB make $35 million in one season. They're getting him for 7 years. This is an amazing deal. I know Ozzy wanted security for his family. He needs money now to make them safe, to make them happy. So it's something he kind of had to do. I don't want to say the Braves forced him into this deal, but I think from a baseball financial standpoint, this makes a lot of sense for the Braves. This is the second player they've locked up this year. I think it's a great deal for the Atlanta Braves going forward. All right. And then he should be, the Braves second baseman at least for the next, however long. So if you have him in Dynasty, you've got to be pretty comfortable today about him going forward. Now, on to the NBA. The playoffs start tomorrow, but I'm going to give you 4 guys to think about today. These are the top 4 players that are rated in Roto Grinders. All right, let's start with number 1, Paul Milsap of the Denver Nuggets. I'm not so sure about this one. Let me tell you why. So he's going for 5,800, which is a 6.11 multiplier on Roto Grinders, but I don't really buy it. So his 2 games, he only played twice against the Spurs this year. He scored 16.5 and 24.2 fantasy points. That is not a great return on a $5,800 price tag. His last, So in his last 5 games where Milsap averaged 30 minutes. Now, I'm assuming that Milsap will average 30 minutes in this series, right? So that's why I'm bringing up only the games where he played 30 minutes. He scored 21, 35, 34, 36, and 25, which is an average of 30.2 points, which does get you to a 5 times multiplier. But again, if we go back and look about how he did against the Spurs, he didn't do as well. So I'd be a little bit reluctant. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if you wanted to go out there and start Paul Milsap on Saturday, but he's not going to be my number 1 choice. I don't think he's going to make my squad. So let's move on to number 2. I like Garry Harris a little bit better. He's the second-rated player on Roto Grinders, also plays for Denver. He's going for 4,200, a lot better price, and he has a 5.9 multiplier. Here's the way I see it. Garry Harris also only played 2 games against the Spurs, scoring 18 and 12 points, which isn't great. However, in his last 3 straight games, he's scored 20-plus points. Now, Garry Harris missed a lot of time at the beginning of the season. He's just starting to get his legs back under him. I think he's going to play a big role in this series, and I like Garry Harris a lot more than Paul Milsap in this, not necessarily in the series, but for those prices, 4,200 versus 5,800, I kind of like what Garry Harris is bringing to the table. All right, let's move on to number 3. Roto Grinders has Klay Thompson rated as their number 3 player. For the Golden State Warriors, obviously the shooting guard is going for 5,800 on FanDuel today. That is a 5.7 projected multiplier. So Klay Thompson, you got to like that he's been 20-plus fantasy points in 6 of his last 7 games. Versus the Clippers this season, he played all 4 games. He scored 15, 28, 21, and 43 fantasy points. I like that 43. That gives you a big upside there where he could go off. And the other thing I like is that even though Steph Curry is expected to play on Saturday, who knows how many minutes Steph is going to get. I would expect Klay to get his usual 30 minutes and maybe a few extra touches if Steph isn't 100%. So I would see Klay getting at least 30 points, which is why I like him in the matchup on Friday for 5,800. All right, moving on. We've got a long shot here at number 4. I like it, Roto Grinders. The Brooklyn Nets, Rodions Kurucs. Yep, Rodions, Rodions Kurucs, Kurucs of the Brooklyn Nets. He's a power forward going for only 3,500, the minimum on FanDuel. Here's why we like him. First of all, he has a 5.6 multiplier, and how did they come to that? Well, against Philly, this season not so great. Only 6, 21, and 4 fantasy points. You definitely don't want to throw up a 4 on your fantasy line on Saturday. But in his last 4 games, he's scored 33, 13, 20, and 19, averaging 21 points. So why do I like it? Well, there's no guarantee that the big man from Philadelphia, Joel Embiid, is even going to play in this game. But Kurucs is still going to have to get some minutes, I hope. He's been averaging at least like 23, 24 minutes a game, and that should be enough for him to score in the 20s in fantasy. And for only $3,500, that's a 6 times multiplier. That's what we're looking for from our, low end guys. I think he's pretty safe to at least score in the 12 and up range. I would really expect him to be somewhere between 12 and say 22. Right? Hopefully you're getting around 20 points. That would be great for our guy. All right, and if Joel Embiid is out, it makes his life a lot easier. So those are the 5 things that you need to know in the world of fantasy sports today. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to put together a FanDuel lineup for the DFS, Daily Fantasy Basketball, and we'll get that going tomorrow. I'll see you then. Visit mathradio.com, and I'm out. See you tomorrow. Bye.